Hey everyone, it's Tammy. Thank you so much for joining me. Before I say anything else, this is like the 6th time I've attempted to make a video and my computer keeps freezing up. It's been acting very strangely lately. So if you happen to see a freeze in the frame, but you hear my voice continuing on, I don't know how this is going to look on the other end of it. So just putting that out there, because I'm not going to stop it again and start all over again. However, I appreciate you joining me. If you're a subscriber, I am so happy to be on this journey with you. If you're new to my channel, please subscribe and share. So to speak, comes to you following a hike that I just came back from. That was very, very insightful. I mean, I just kind of reflected on a lot of different things, and I think part of it comes right now because of the amount of aggravation, the personal annihilations that I'm seeing on social media, and I'm not just talking political, it's everywhere. I just recently in a local Facebook group where I don't necessarily know everybody. I mean, there's tens of thousands of people on this group because they're all from the same area, just citywide, right? Some woman posts and they're looking where she could get a flu shot, and everybody's kind of giving her ideas of where free flu shot. If you work for the state, you get, it's going on and on and on. I'm into options, and again, if you're new, stick around. You're going to hear some things that you've never heard before. I don't say that arrogantly. It's just a whole nother perspective, and actually part of the reason why I'm shifting my Patreon. I've talked about Patreon in the past, and I haven't really pushed it. But I think I have finally tapped into what my Patreon can be all about, because really what I'm here to do, if I were to be brutally honest with you, that is, I'm here to teach. I'm here to teach a whole nother way of looking at the body and working with the body. I'm here to teach people how to understand their body and understand their body's needs. Okay, that's really what I'm here to do. I'm also an aromacologist, not just an aromatherapist. I'm an aromacologist in the sense that I advocate and basically call myself the voice for essential oils, because how I see it, everybody should be living and using essential oils. Don't mean out of a book. I'm talking about individualized selections. And so as an aromacologist, I do formulate private blends for people. If you already have access and resources that you can tap into, then I can help you at least make selections that are better suited to your body's needs. So that's how I work as an aromacologist. This is 30 years. This is basically my life. I do have a background in pharmacology. I also have a background in the science of nutrition, meaning the actual chemistry of food. I've trained under organic and biochemists in the area of essential oils, and I've taken their work into the next level. And so that said, the Patreon page is going to be about basically lessons. I've in the past referred myself as an integrative health consultant. I don't want to be a consultant. I'm not here to tell you what to do with your body. I'm here to teach you, help you interpret your body's messages. Like I said, help teach you. They're lessons. It's integrative health lessons. I'm here to teach you how to tap into your body's messages and really understand the bottom line needs. And this is a very individualized process. In the Patreon group, it'll be more about group discussion, group dynamics. I'm just kind of introducing it here. I had no intention of doing this, but here I am. So in the group, it's going to be where I share generalized information, kind of give you an idea. Like, for instance, I think the first one I'm going to do is going to be on the flu shot. But we're just going to take a couple of videos a month. You'll have access to group discussions, and my only request is that we keep it respectful. None of this public annihilation at all. I don't have any use for it. None of us really have any use for it. It's just making us sick. It's creating more and more dis-ease than we really need. So it's time to turn this around. So in the case of my Patreon group, I'm just going to ask everybody to be respectful. We can respectfully debate. We can respectfully differ, I mean, however you want to say it, I just want respect in the group. But like I said, in the meantime, you get a couple of videos a month, you get group discussions, and then you also have access to discounts on private formulations if that's what you desire. Even a discount if you want a private lesson. And the reason, again, why I'm using the word lesson is because I'm not teaching you specific, I mean, there's no set way. I'm going to help you interpret the body's messages. A lot of this can be done in a group setting, because once we start to have a dialogue about what's going on and you hear what I have to share as far as how all this works, because the bottom line is it's coming from the space of function, not dysfunction. So when you come at it from that angle and I share with you my viewpoint, and you can begin to relate it to your own self. And again, the possibility of being able to interpret your own body's needs would become easier just in group conversations. So that's coming to Patreon. Not sure when that'll be launched, but if you are interested, you're welcome to contact me, Tammy at synergessence.com. I'm also on Twitter and Instagram at TammyDavis8. Also, the link to my Facebook Synergessence page is in the description box below as well. Feel free to join me on that. I do now offer universal formulas for things like pain, respiratory issues, digestive issues, sleep issues. Like I said, they're universally safe to use for everyone, all ages, as well as with medications. But I want to finish that up by saying, I just want to say that they're universally safe. The more effective ones are more personalized, because then they're designed specifically for your body's needs. So, but the reason why my products it took me so long to truthfully put anything out there universally safe, and why there's nothing on store shelves, is because there are no additives. I don't have anything in there that is acceptable. I mean, I should say, it's acceptable, but it's not acceptable. It's not acceptable on the grounds that it doesn't have the stabilizers, the emulsifiers, the preservatives in it, like other store-bought. I mean, people have to have that in there in order for it not to go bad, so it can sit on the shelf for X number of months. Can't do that. I won't do that, because, well, tune into some of my other videos. But basically, in fact, the last one on inflammation would be a good one to watch, because the permeability of the body is consistently being challenged and influenced. So I prefer just to, keep it as simple as possible, because we're getting a lot of stuff into our systems as it is. And the more we use these products that contain those kinds of ingredients, the more susceptible we are to endocrine disruption. So, wow. That was 8 minutes, and I didn't even touch on why I started this video. So anyway, so today I was thinking back on a lot of conversations. I live in an art culture community, meaning I'm surrounded by sculptors and painters and you name it. I mean, there's all of this realm of art. And I guess this is where I did actually begin here. I'm just trying to think of it. I just kind of went off on a tangent. But the separation, it's the separation. If I give my 2 cents on a piece of artwork, it's downgraded because I'm not an artist. Really great piece. This is, and I'll get into more about this, but this is a really cool piece I got from a lady out of Denver. Her name's Gabby. It was awesome. It was great. She makes them on her phone. She should be very proud of it. She's very proud of it. It was really fun meeting her, because she's in her, she's in her latter part of her years, and she's only been doing this for the last 3 years. And it just really makes her incredibly happy. And I just felt so blessed to be able to get something from her. But at any rate, but my opinion, I've noticed, gets downgraded because I'm not an artist. and I don't necessarily understand the conception of art. And so this kind of brought to mind this amount of separation. And like I said, the whole thing with public annihilation and the division that people have, I mean, we're just attacking people all over the place. I mentioned this thing about the flu shot. Somebody was asking for a flu shot. Everybody's giving all this information. I shared a document that I produced that I'll put the link here for you. You can take a look at it on ways to support the body to protect itself from colds and flu. It's not 100% guarantee, but neither is a flu shot. But the one thing is you don't want to be doing is you don't want to be stimulating the body. You don't want to stimulate the immune system. What you want to do is help it help itself. It's the whole point of this. So the link is in the description box, but I posted that in response to this woman. Like I said, there's tens of thousands of people in this group. I don't know everybody. And but this woman asked for a question. So I'm into options. We have options. We don't have to necessarily be, with this pharmacy and that pharmacy or that government entity. I mean, yes, those are options, but flu shot, we're just talking flu shot, and I think we have choices. And so I provided information. This document. Didn't ask him to buy anything because you don't have to buy anything. It's about nourishing yourself. And I literally got the first emoticon with an angry face. The next thing that occurred was a statement from a woman who, that I don't know, said, Tammy, get the effing flu shot. That was her response. Just get the effing flu shot. So I responded back to her and respectfully told her that, I am of this age. I've gone all these years, all these decades, never had a flu shot, never had the flu. And so we have options. Just wanted to share options, that we do have choices. Well, I don't know how many comments came after that, all in response to my remark, and everybody was arguing with me. One person just basically called me a flat out idiot, and this was bad advice. I mean, it was amazing how I got railroaded for simply suggesting foods that would benefit the strength of the immune system, the stabilization of the immune system, and support the body's ability to protect itself. I mean, there was one other person I'm thinking of this. He actually responds with, well, I'm 59 years old, never wore seat belts, but I've never been in a car accident. I guess that has because I take my nutritional supplements. Yeah. I don't really care if you get a flu shot. If you want a flu shot, that's up to you. I personally don't want them. I could have gone back. I refused to engage with any of them. Once I made that one statement, I just let the rest go because I just don't feel like arguing. Everybody's entitled to their opinion. If the first woman had simply said, you know what, it works for me, I'm sorry you don't like them, but I happen to, and been respectful, it would have been a different story. But instead, I got what I got, so I just let it all go. I thought about coming back and saying, well, my father, who passed away earlier this year, died with, he was a big advocate for flu shots. He called me every single year telling me I should get a flu shot. And he eventually, he lived with high blood pressure for a long time, and so there was medications involved there. He never appreciated the work that I do, which is fine. Again, it's not for everybody. So I'm not here telling anybody that they have to do what I do. I'm simply offering this as an opportunity for something different, an alternative. But in any case, my father was an advocate for the flu shot. When he passed away, he had been living with Parkinson's, COPD, which he was never a smoker, blood pressure issues, skin cancer, blood cancer. I think that's it. But that's how his life ended. Was the flu shot at fault? I wouldn't say 100%. I think being a part of this world had everything to do with it. But that's a lot of health shit. It's a lot of health issues to be facing at the end of your life. Yes, I do believe. I mean, and the other question for anybody that is going to come up against the whole thing about, advocate for the flu shot, what are your opinions? Are you the same people who are asking questions or against vaccinations for children? Because it's all the same thing. So I just pick, I just won't battle with anybody. But again, this divisiveness, this separation, this argument, this you can't critique art because you're not an artist, is disturbing. So that's what brings me to the point of this video. Now that we're 15 minutes into it, I'm counting down here. Anyway, so the whole point of art is, or the whole reason for talking about art, is because that's how we started out as a species. Let's back it up a few 100,000 years, however long we got to go back. And we drew pictures on the cave walls, all these hieroglyphics that we have that we are mesmerized by and still interpreting. What do they really mean? All these pictures. What's interesting is the people who are doing all these interpretations, they're not over there critiquing these people going, well, geez, they don't know how to draw eyes. There's the terrible eyes. Do they not know how to, did dogs don't look like that. I mean, we don't do that. We appreciate what they were doing. That was their only way of expressing themselves besides the sounds. There was physical expression. But that's the point. It was all expression. So through the evolution of man, nature continued to express itself, and nature continued to take care of our needs, and our needs began to evolve to the degree where forming words was beneficial. I won't say essential, because that makes me question the way we're using our words today. But it was essential for our survival, is how I will say it, because we cannot understand nature to the degree that we think we do or want to, or we can. There's no way. Nature, the very nature to our existence has changed. And through these changes, our ability to express ourselves as a species changed. This is where opiate receptors came in. This is the FOXP2 gene receptor. The FOXP2 gene, which is a transcription factor that regulates a good portion of the neurochemistry that's involved with speech and language and many other things. Oh, pardon me. I just threw opiate receptors in there too, because I think that one actually evolved into existence before the development or the further development of the FOXP2. We already had a FOXP2 gene. When I say the further development or the further alterations to the FOXP2, because anything that makes an audible sound has a FOXP2 gene. It's just the changes that occur at the DNA level that give us this opportunity to speak and articulate words. But nevertheless, it's still a form of expression. And I don't know, honestly, I didn't look it up before doing this video, the definition of art. But to me, it's about expression. It's expressing oneself. And so that's really what nature is. Nature is art. Life is abstract. We have this realism in the sense of art where we can paint tables and chairs and people and dogs and landscapes. And when we have that realism, right? And my hat's off to anybody who can replicate these things like you guys do. I can't do that. So in that respect, I'm not that kind of an artist. I can't sculpt to save my life. But the fact is that we developed these ways to be able to express ourselves, and we were already expressing ourselves, like I said, through movement. We had, from what I understand, culturally, they were dancing, making, drumming on things and dancing and in worship and celebration. They were making sounds, maybe not understandable words, but they were making sounds and they were drawing images. So this is all a form of expression. So this is how I see art. The fact that we developed art into a field that helps people, that keeps people, and so we have, and it was really weird is, okay, so we have our political affiliations, we have our gender affiliations, we have our religious affiliations, and we have everything, ethnicity. I mean, you can just go on and on and on and just separate ourselves consistently. And then we have our, I guess, career. You got your business, you got your big thinkers, and then you got the art. I mean, there's like a differentiation. And what I want to say is that everything that everybody is doing on their own way is an art form. And although I can look at a painting and I can potentially critique it to the degree that I understand it, that's just the way I understand it. I can go, yes, I like that. See, this is the thing that's bothering me. Every time I go to post anything anymore on social media, I actually wince in anticipation of what's going to come back. That's how ridiculous this has gotten. It's like, whoa, what am I going to get now? And I just have to let it go. That's somebody expressing themselves. And I mean, I can draw the line, right? I don't have to buy into it. I don't have to play into it. I don't have to engage if it doesn't align with what I want, right? I can do that, and I can be respectful about that. People are going to say what they say, It's none of my business what anybody thinks about me. It's none of my business what people say about me. It's my business to take care of me. It's my business to express me just as it is anybody else. And so this whole thing with nature, I mean, it's fascinating to me because that's all we are, is expression. And when we talk about genetic adaptations and we talk about the body, like I was talking about earlier with regards to the flu shot and the oils and so forth, this is all about expression. My challenge with art I began to separate myself from art, and I guess I began to look at myself as not even being an artist. So maybe this is just like a self-declaration, public self-declaration, that I am an artist. I am a creative in my own way. The way I talk here, my perspective, the way I work with the oils, there's a creativity to it. It's not, that's another reason why making universal salves and elixirs is difficult for me, because I like the ability to be able to alter things. And that's not to say that I can't, but that was a creative endeavor for me, to be able to pull oils, essential oils, that would actually synergistically work to the best benefit for what I was trying to design it to do, and be equally safe at the same time. Again, if you're new, I'm very much about integrating safely and creating stabilization and not duplicating the mechanism of action. But that's another story. The truth is here, the bottom line is that we have undermined ourselves to the degree, like I said, with art. I ran away from it in school. I loved music. I ran towards music, still love music. Interestingly enough, even though we developed words, we didn't develop words, our ability to speak words, rather, just for the mere sake of thinking. That's not why we did this. We developed words as a form of expression. And so we've used that beautifully. I mean, we've got poetry, we have great literature, we have plays, and if you think about it, through the evolution, even after we got once we were speaking, the arts turned into the ways of delivering messages. That's what people are still doing. I love how this actually all works together, and I find myself getting extraordinarily excited about it because it is about expression. So once we come ahead a few hundred years, and now we have our ancestors who are writing plays specifically for the government in order to master consent or manufacture consent, garner consent from the people, from the community, to be able to do this or to do that. It was, we did it to help make people laugh, to shed light on sensitive topics. We were, it was all about expression. It's not our place to judge what people are trying to express. It's just that that's what this is about. So our words were given to us as a means of being able to express, being, I can't even begin to guess how. We have the ability to form words. We were already making sounds. So this all came into existence to our benefit. And what makes me sad is that we're not using it fully to our benefit. We're using it also to our detriment. But besides the words, again, with the music and the written word, and then of course there's the beautiful paintings and the photography and the sculptures and the drawings, and it's endless what people can produce as a means of feeling something and actually having it be released from inside them. And this is where I find the magnificence of art and life, and art and healing. We have a lot of art therapy, but what I'm talking about, like when I think about art class in school, I was a gifted student. I was in all of these heavy thinking classes, and so there's a couple of things I gravitated towards, and that was band. I was in 4 different types of band. I was in jazz band, concert band, marching band, and orchestra. And then I was also in the chorus. I loved all of that. I could feel the music. I could close my eyes. I could feel the music, and it would just come out of me. When I got to an art class, I'd run because I was being graded, but I was looking at something. I couldn't sit there and draw. I guess I could have, but I didn't feel like, I don't ever know that I even tried to close my eyes. Nobody ever gave me the opportunity to feel art. I was being compared to other students. We were getting grades, and because I was raised in a house that expected high grades, I couldn't produce it. Art class made me feel less than. And I get increasingly upset when I hear the amount of people that are constantly critiquing art. Again, it's like people get, I literally have heard this, well, that person's work sucks. And it's like, well, how can you even say that? That's the expression of who they are. I hear people talk about, yay, abstract art, nay, abstract art. And I'm like, life is abstract. We might have concrete shapes, but life is an abstract expression. It's randomly perfect. It's perfectly imperfect. It is very random. At the same time, it's very organized. And so when I look at that from the outside and what we have, we have this amazing ability to express ourselves, and all of this is happening on the inside. Our genes are constantly expressing themselves. Chemicals are constantly encouraging chemical reactions, expression. That's all this is genetic expression. We are genetic expression. What we do with artwork is just an external expression of what's inside of us. It pains me, it hurts to hear people go, well, that sucks. I don't like, you don't have to like it. It's kind of like I was talking about earlier with regards to being on Patreon or all of this stuff on social media, how we're just annihilating one another for some of the most random, simplest things. It shouldn't be an issue. But we're being too hard on one another. And to me, this represents this level of dis-ease outside of us is highly representative of the dis-ease on the inside of us. And I don't mean illness. Dis-ease means lack of ease. And so for as uneasy as we are in here, we're uneasy out here. I'm not expecting miracles, and I don't expect everybody to align with me, but, well, I would like to see a miracle. I should say I'm not expecting an overnight change. I would like to see people get along and be more respectful of themselves. Because the more we respect ourselves, the more we can respect one another. Because it's just going to come out of us. Because we're easy. We're being easy. So, we are art. We are life. We are an expression of life. And it doesn't make any difference how you express whatever it is you do. People are clamoring to get into art classes and to find ways to be able to, to do something that's creative. I'm saying the way you express yourself every single day, from the clothes that you wear to the way you talk to people, it's all an expression. And pay attention to how you're expressing yourself, because it's an indication of how your body is expressing. And if you're And I don't mean any disrespect from this, but if you're finding yourself increasingly angry and aggravated by things, it's time to look inside. And maybe, because we're not going to change anybody else, but we can actually change what the reactions that are happening inside of us. And I'll just kind of give you a hint. That tells me jacked cortisol levels right there. There's a way to stabilize the cortisol level, but it's going to take a little bit of understanding. And so, yeah, you, me, we are life expressed. We are a walking art form. And I really wish we could get away from critiquing one another. If you just don't like, not everybody's going to like, I walked into galleries and went, I love that. And other times like, doesn't do much for me. But that doesn't make that a bad artist. It just means it just didn't do much for me. I don't stand there and try to analyze it. But this whole critiquing, and we do it everywhere. We do it to movies, we do it to television shows, and you're right, I get it. Not everything is primo. That's okay. If we can just get to the point that this is just an expression, this is life expressing itself, this is nature expressing itself. This is the reason why we have a FOXP2 gene, because nature is one of the reasons it's expressing itself. It's the reason why we have opiate receptors, because nature expressed itself. It needed that. In order to continue to thrive, it needed to express a different level of chemistry to create the opiate receptor, because part of the opiate receptor is actually about bonding. That's how we survived. So this is life expressed. And I guess that's what I want to say for today. So you are an art form. You're a beautiful art form. And you're expressing yourself perfectly. And I think it's okay to have, it's okay. It's okay just to be you. And understand that you may not like the situation that you're in, health-wise, if you're watching this. But please attempt to accept it as a functional message, asking for help. And how can I equal that to artwork? Maybe it's a painting that needs one more dab of, one more color. Who knows? But it's all about expression. So thanks for watching. Let me know if you have any questions. Like I said, Tammy at synergessence.com. If you got this far, thank you. At Tammy Davis 8 on Instagram and Twitter. And there's information in the description box regarding my Synergessence Facebook page, as well as the flu document that I was talking about. All right, you guys take care. Have a great day wherever you are, and until later.